everyone. Welcome to the CityBiz audience. I'm so excited to be here. I have a special guest, Robert Deck. He is president and founder of Engage Partners. And Robert and I just met recently on a podcast, and I was wowed by his background. And I'm going to let him introduce himself, but he's got a lot of cool things going on that we can share with the CityBiz audience.
So my name is Robert Deck, as Cindy said, and I actually am the president of Engage Partners as well as the founder of Click2.ai. We basically have merged both companies together. Click2 is an AI consulting division of Engage Partners. And we are just working in the AI space for small to medium-sized businesses, and I'm actually heading that division up.
Wonderful. So yeah, this is really cool because AI is such a hot topic right now. So we'll just jump into some questions. So Robert, tell us how you see AI transforming the recruitment industry, particularly in the sectors that Engage Partners specializes in. And I know you've been doing this for a really long time. And then Click2 AI is just a great platform that I want the listeners to learn more about.
Okay, so basically, right now with recruiting in general, there's a big push in AI. Okay, basically, it will enhance the speed and accuracy of like identifying the talent. Okay, it automates tasks, does interview questions. I'll give you a good example of this. So when we get a job description from a client, okay, we'll take the job description and we have a customized tool that we put the job description in. From the job description, AI automatically creates the interview questions. It generates emails that we can send to that candidate or candidates that we're looking for, right? It also creates search strings for the recruiter so that when they're in LinkedIn or Google, however they're using it, Indeed, there's a number of different sources. They know what words to search on, what keywords to search on. Most recruiters kind of know that as like a Boolean search term, right? So as well as it will create social media posts, right? So the whole process really is created from the job description, right? From the, we intake the order from the client and it will do all these things at once. So now the recruiter has time to actually talk to the candidates more in depthly, right? They're more knowledgeable about what's going on and they can ask certain questions that maybe before, maybe they're working on a new type of technology or a new job. And it will actually give them great questions to ask the candidates from that perspective, which is interesting. Despite, there's some really good advancements. We recognize it. People really want to deal with people right now, especially, right? It's not, I don't see this in some industries. I don't see this taking over completely. It can, and they have the technology to do it. And I know people that have implemented this into large organizations for certain jobs. But for smaller companies like us, we're about 40 people, we specialize in certain niches, right? From healthcare IT to engineering. And most of the people that we place, they're working. So they're not necessarily looking for a job, right? So you have to kind of go out there and call them and just give them a nudge and be like, hey, listen, if I have an opportunity, it's paying $20,000 more than you're making and it's 10 minutes away from your house or it's remote. Are you interested? I don't think AI can do that. But once again, if you're working, you're not looking for that, right? You get an email or whatever and you're not so excited about it, right? So I think there's a need for, once again, the person to kind of be there, but it does all the tasks, the processes that we had to do anyway, right? And it just does it within seconds. So now the recruiter has a lot more time to kind of do what they really need to do, which is to pick up the phone, call their connections, get referrals. And I don't see AI doing that yet from a referral perspective and getting people on the phone that might not be interested. I think it would do a great job if you're looking for work, right? For sure. Because then the AI can, if you're looking for a job, you can talk to an AI, you can get interviewed by an AI, right? Chatbot, whatever, however they do it, they can do it by voice now. They have some really cool stuff. But from what we do in particular, we're trying to find a needle in the haystack every day.
Yeah, and I see it as really streamlining and skipping the line in a way. It can be such a game changer. Sounds like in the recruiting industry, and then also for small businesses, which takes us to our next question. The new AI service, Click2.ai, it focuses on helping small businesses and entrepreneurs optimize their social media strategies. So how does AI enhance social media content creation and engagement for these businesses?
Okay, so basically what we do, okay, we have a Chrome extension that's integrated within the web browser, okay? And the Chrome extension is just a button. And the button, you have a place where you can enter your focus. And once you enter your focus, say you're in LinkedIn and you want to do a LinkedIn post, well, you click on our button, you put in a focus, maybe a sentence or two. The more you give it, the more it will give you. Okay. But you really don't have to spend a lot of time on it. Say that you are an insurance salesman or agent and you just save somebody, we're in Florida, you just save someone $1,000 on their homeowners. You just say, I just saved the client $1,000 on a homeowner, and it's going to come up with a beautiful story for you within your language, right? We have different personalities. We have different options. We're actually creating tones that are coming out next week. So it really will sound like you were fooling around or doing some stuff with writing samples. And that's going to come out. That's not too far away. So it will really kind of take what you want and sound like you. So it's a productivity tool, right? It's a productivity, communication, engagement tool that you can download from the Google Chrome store. It's really an interesting product because there's just so many different ways that we can use it. It also reads context and will comment it on, for you. So, and you can pick what style you want to be funny, you want to be friendly, you want to be sarcastic. There's just different tones that you can utilize. And when you see the results of what it comes up with, it would take you 10 minutes to do a post that was that good and that insightful, right? Whereas it takes you 2 seconds, you read the post, you make sure you're happy with it, right? Because I don't want anyone posting something that they didn't read. And then what you can, then you're on to the next post. So it's a really efficient tool, which really it is a game changer for small businesses without the budget of big social media teams and strategy teams. We're actually also testing out another cool idea that we have where it's going to pick up on trending topics so that you can really get your name out there, right? Because LinkedIn has certain algorithms. And if you're talking and you're seen by your clients, it's a good thing. And not only that, but when you're interacting with your clients as well.
No, I love it. I love it. I think it's a great, it sounds like it really helps to personalize the message. Like it creates a persona around you and it learns more and more about your voice as you use it. Is that right?
That's correct. And really, I think the biggest benefit for these smaller companies is it's easy to use, right? And it's not a tremendous amount of money. It's a monthly subscription. We actually have some deals with certain organizations across the country, and in Florida especially, we deal with the Chamber of Commerce where individuals get a discount. So that's always good. And it really, I can't say enough about it as far as people just really need to understand that if you're not using social media right now, it's not a great thing because it's a tool that you need to use, right? And get in front of your clients, interact with your clients, right? Everybody knows that. It's great. Nobody picks up the phone anymore. Nobody wants to read an email because it's always like a junk email, right? So this is a way to kind of keep in touch with these people and support them on social media, which is, when you're supporting them, they're going to support you, right? When you say, well, what a great job, or, and it's not just commenting for reach, which I see a lot, which I don't think helps a lot of people because they just don't know what to say. And I get it because ever since I had the tool, I'm like, wow, that's a really interesting way to approach the context of that post. And it's amazing.
Yeah, it sounds really thoughtful. And the other cool thing is, like you mentioned, it is so important these days, whether people, have a love hate relationship with social media, but there is such a thing called ageism. And if you're not staying on top of your game, you really are, giving yourself a disadvantage. So I think it sounds like it can really help, no matter what your age, millennial, Gen Z, Gen X, but I know that it's something that can really streamline the process, which is always a good thing, right? If we can save time. Um, the next question is, just what are some of the key challenges for small businesses that they face in leveraging AI for social? And how does your service address the challenges to deliver meaningful results? So obviously a time saver, productivity. I mean, we touched on some of these things, but I do think this is a pain point, like a big point for small businesses and entrepreneurs. And it sounds like this is a really cool solution.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, some other interesting problems and solutions that we solve, right? When people look at AI, they think it's so complex, right? And they're almost scared of it in certain ways and form and shape, but it's going to be here and your competitors are going to use it. So you need to jump on the bandwagon. But so people think it's like this complex situation and it's going to be expensive, um, and they just lack a certain confidence going into it, which makes sense because if you're selling homes, you're not a technician, right? You're a realtor. And if you never use certain technology tools, well, why are you going to use them now? Right? That's what most people kind of, I think. And the reason why you need to adopt AI is because people are adopting it, and the people that are adopting it are getting unbelievable results, right? And I think we bring great results, and we provide training and stuff like that. So I think I think that companies just need to look at it, right, and just say, okay, this is the future. We're moving on to the next next iteration of business, and you know it's going to be here. It is what it is, and I think that people who don't adopt it are going to be not they're going to be upset that they didn't, because once you really look into it and you see what it is, it's automation. It's not, people, it's not taken over the world yet. But it's a tool that makes people superhuman if you use it correctly.
No, I love it. It gives people a jump start. And then instead of taking, like you said, 10 minutes, a half an hour creating something and overthinking it, it gives you that jump start. And then it sounds like it integrates with the social media. So you're not doing that part either. So I know that I believe you said when we spoke earlier that you launched last year. So can you share some examples of small businesses or entrepreneurs who've successfully utilized your the AI powered social media service and the impact that it's had on their business?
Right. So fortunately enough, we're recruiters, right? And I've been in this industry for 25 years and I know a lot of people. And over the last, I guess, couple of years, there are people called solopreneurs, right? And we get a lot of those people interested in the product because they don't have time to do this type of marketing, right? A perfect example is we've had one person who is actually a friend of mine is a consultant, a technology consultant. And he writes about he does cybersecurity stuff. And he's constantly writing about what he's doing, his work, what companies he's helping out, the challenges, if there's a security breach, he is all over the internet, which allows him to get business because he created a personal brand for himself as a security specialist. And, I just know that if he didn't have this tool, I think he would have failed because most people don't understand the scale that you need to operate on if you're not an entrepreneur or you're not a business owner, right? And you're just getting into that kind of work. You have to scale like you're 10 people, especially when you're small. And you have to be in front of everybody, as many people as you can. Obviously, the right audience, right, which this tool allows you to do it because you're only going to be marketing towards your target audience, and you're going to be talking about the things you do, like the cybersecurity. So I think that that example is just close to my heart. Number one, because it was a friend of mine, and I know he's doing great, and he's got a ton of business. Because I worked closely with him, I trained him on how to use it and kind of just a social media strategy for himself, a simple one, not anything, Coca-Cola, Pepsi type of thing, right? Just kind of talk about yourself, talk about what you do, talk about clients, and it's so easy because you just have to literally write one or two sentences in and it will do it. In fact, just our meeting, right? When we had this meeting and I wanted to kind of post it on my page on LinkedIn, I just repost with thoughts and it picks up all the information. It gives you when, where, and this. And I know you did it too. And I know people can do it with chat, but with ours, it's a click of a button, no copy paste, and it literally takes you 20 seconds and it will pick up on all the details of the event. Even if you copy links from Eventbrite, it sees the link, and that will work on most sites where it will just be like, okay, Wednesday, 3:30, gives a little sentence or two, and boom, you're moving on. And for busy professionals, I tell them if I don't save them 8 hours a week, I'm not doing my job. That's kind of how I grade myself when I do this stuff. So it's just it's inspiring to see what the product can do, and there's so many different use cases that we have with it that are going on. But that's one of them. That's really a perfect example of somebody you starting your own business. Doesn't matter. It could be lawn care to dentist. You need to be out in front of people, out in front of the community. It works on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. And I'm sure we'll put it in a bunch of different places because really the whole goal of Click2 is to bring AI with a click of a button to small and medium-sized businesses, right? We can make the button do anything. It doesn't just have to be marketing. Right now, that's what we focus on. But we can focus on business process. That's kind of my next step. In fact, we got a partnership with the Boca Chamber, and we're starting to talk to individuals there, and try to sit down with them, see what they need, and make sure it's affordable, right? Because everyone in AI, I guess a lot of the big companies and the big players, they're not helping small businesses, and it's so important. Small business is everything in this country, and we need a lot of help in that area. And I think that I'm going to try to do my best.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt. I totally agree. It is the lifeblood of the country. And I also think, small business owners have a lot on their plates, right? A lot on their plates. And if you could save them 8 hours a week, I mean, you're going to have people lining up out the door. I mean, because it's overwhelming. There's so many things and there's so many different platforms. And if this can help streamline that, I think it's huge. So the next question is, with over 25 years in the recruitment industry, what significant changes have you observed, and how do you think AI will influence future trends, particularly in social media recruiting?
Right. So it's funny. So when that's a funny question to me because when I first started recruiting, we used to mail the resumes to the clients. That's how long I've been doing this. So from a technology perspective, um, it's just going to make recruiters so much more efficient if they want to be, if even just submitting a candidate, right? Recruiters have to take the job description, right? Look at the resume, match the skills that the candidate has to the job description, then make a write up. Well, now with a click of a button, they can just do it and it's like a 30-second task. However, they have to still look at the email, look at what they're submitting to the managers, make sure it's good, put their own personal touches on it, and knowing what the managers want, making sure that the AI has done its job, right? It almost like summarizes the submittal process for them. So from a significant change, I think time doing those types of tasks are gone, right? Is if you want to keep up with technology. And I can certainly help out any recruitment firms that want that because I already have it done and customized and it's amazing. And that saves more than 8 hours for my recruiters. Um, but I customized the system for us. As far as the trends in AI, social media recruiting, like I said, if you're out there, like I talk about recruiting, I talk about how to get a job these days. I tell people they have to be out there. It's a contact sport. I think with social media, it's funny because if you want to and you're looking for a job, I think you have a better chance these days because of social media because you can do the outreach as a candidate looking for a job. You don't have to wait till somebody at the company sees your resume. You could contact or support hiring managers at companies, right? And be seen and make relationships. It's a great icebreaker. I'm not saying you have to continue it, although it will reply to replies and repost, and it does everything that LinkedIn has and Facebook has an option for. But that the goal is to get the meeting first, right? And once you have the meeting, then you can be yourself. You're authentic. But other than that, it will help a candidate. We actually have a program that's really inexpensive for candidates to use it to find jobs and it's amazing. And the reason why it's so good is because they can do it at scale. They can do the right. That's the key.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, the next question is, the Click2 AI serves a wide range of industries, small businesses of all different types. So, can you walk us through how the AI driven business processes and workflows are uniquely tailored to different sectors? And how specifically does your approach ensure that small businesses and startups can fully leverage the customization, like sharing a real world example? I know you shared one earlier, but
Yeah. So basically, from that perspective, right? I have a client that's an insurance agent, and they needed a chat bot, right, for customer service. They have all questions about their policy, this, that, and the other thing. I sat down with the customer. I talked to them about what they needed to accomplish and what's their goals. And I actually have an insurance license, so I know insurance is very regulated. Okay. Um, and and this is where you got to be careful, right? he needs a closed system. He needs a system that can't be accessed by, open AI and stuff like that because of the regulations. And that's where I think, people definitely need to be very careful. That goes into the business process, the workflow process, that we're really detailed oriented and we're able to kind of talk to the client. We're aware of all these concerns, security. Okay. Just different things like that. And I think, that's where, you know, we do a really good job of. And that's how we tailor it. We sit with the client.
Yeah, no, that's huge too. I mean, it is like having that customized support that can be a game changer for small businesses. It really can. As AI becomes increasingly integral to business operations, what do you see as the big I'm sorry, I'm just going to read that again. As AI becomes increasingly integral to business operations, what do you see as the biggest challenges for small businesses in adopting these technologies? How is Click2AI equipping these businesses and your team to not just overcome these challenges, but to use AI as a competitive advantage?
Okay, so I think we kind of covered this a little bit, but it's cost, complexity, and a learning curve, right? So I think those are the huge challenges, and people, their willingness to adopt it and say, "Yeah, I got to use this," right? At the end of the day, and I need to, and not only when I do this, I'm going to save time, money, but allow, if you're a work-life balance person, that's great. You can do that instead. Or if you're someone like who's a workaholic like myself, you can use that to do more work. So, from that perspective, I think that, it's definitely disrupting a lot of businesses out there. And I think that I think the biggest thing for somebody that's wanting to kind of jump in, but has these challenges, is to just go out and talk to some people. There's a lot of people that are consultants that will kind of give you some at least free advice, right? And just kind of just dip your toe in. You don't have to change your whole business overnight immediately. Take a small task and be like, ask me, what can you do for me for like no money, just a couple of bucks a month, whatever it is. And we'll show you. And then once you start to understand and get into it, you're going to want to automate a lot of the business because you're going to want to focus on the sales and the marketing, right? Bringing in, driving business relationships with the people that you're working with. Those are the important things, right? Understanding your customer better because you have the time and you're not like buried and you just, you're buried on working on their stuff and you don't even have the time to kind of ask them, hey, listen, what are some of your more challenges, right? Grow the business within those businesses.
Right, and taking more of a deep dive, getting to learn about your customers more. I think that you're right. Like that time saving piece is going to be huge for small business owners. The final question, just if you could give us a couple quick takeaways. The future of AI and business process automation seems so vast. So what coming innovations in AI excite you the most? And how is Click2AI positioning itself to lead in these areas? Like, how do you envision these advancements transforming the way small businesses operate in the next few years? And what can they do to be prepared?
So what I think from that perspective is that what excites me really, which is, I don't know if I even trust it yet, but I know it's there, right? Everything's a pattern, right? Even us as people, right? And they're going to be like, John Smith is looking, he's going to be looking for work in about 2 months because they're going to be able to do predictive analytics. And so I think that type of machine learning and that sector is really the most exciting to me because, everyone knows life is data now, right? Data is whoever controls the data or has the most data is going to win the game, I guess, with the big companies. So, I think that really kind of interests me so much, not just from a personal and business perspective, but more of a healthcare perspective, and how they're going to be able to take this data and really be like, okay, you're type A blood and you have this, and this is what we know we need to give you because 50 other patients or 5 million other patients reacted great to this medicine, or they were in a similar situation. So those types of technologies really excite me personally. From a business perspective, like I said, these tools are going to be just amazing, predicting trends, just optimizing certain processes, and just really, I think, from a large part, I'm pretty confident, and the only thing I don't know is how much it's going to cost for these language models, and there's a whole thing with energy, and we can't even get into that. But I think at a relatively affordable price, especially at this time, it's really, you can change your business completely and some of your processes without too much money. And I think some people already know that, right? They'll use it for emails, just that easy, right? It used to take them 20 minutes to write the email. Now it's like one, and they know it's probably better than their communication style. Some people, right? Some people feel like, well,
Sure, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that, look, my one of my big things is I hope I can help out as many small businesses as I can and bring AI to them. That's really my goal, right? That would be great.
That's great. Well, thank you, Robert. So much incredible information. So I would encourage all the listeners to check out Click2 AI, and it's click2.ai. And I guess follow you on LinkedIn. I know we're going to have information in the below the interview so that people can learn more about you. And just thank you so much for your information, your insights, exciting things happening in the space of AI. And thank you to the CityBiz audience. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care. Bye bye.